and welcome to the studio. My name is Melissa and today we are going to make this exquisitely soft and squishy shawl. I wish there was squish-o-vision so you could just feel how squishy this is. This is kid mohair and it is so beautiful, works up so quickly and just has a beautiful drape when you wear it. We are not going to be making this exact color. What we will be using, same yarn, different color, is this color. Now the yarn is however you say that, which I haven't got the clue, and it is made in Italy. It is a kid mohair. So it is 60, I think that says 60% kid mohair, 30% acrylic and 5% polyester. And it is squishy and soft and gorgeous. Doesn't come with a color. The number is 479. I got this from Hobbii. So go and check that out. Whole heap of different colors. Lots and lots of colors to select, and yeah, you're spoilt for choice. These balls are 150 grams and you will need 5 balls. You will also need your 8mm hook, which is what we do our chain with. I always go a hook size up for my chain. It just makes it more even. And the body of the work will be with a 7mm hook. Both these hooks are from Furls. You will also need scissors, a yarn needle just to sew on the buttons. Now buttons can be whatever you got. I've got loads here. So you can just match it up to see. That one I reckon would look really pretty. Or but it could be these brown ones, or maybe a feature one that's the love heart on there, because that still go with the brown. The blue might be a bit dark. There's all different colors in here, so when I finish, maybe the blue. I've got elephants. That's not the right color, so I won't use those ones. And then there's these ones, so pick whatever, but the whole point is we do make our buttons ourselves as well. And I just don't have any more of these at the moment. I'm waiting for hubby to make me more, but you don't want it any more bigger than that. So that button there may be too big, but the wooden buttons may be a go. So make sure that what size is that? The button I've got here is about 1 inch wide, or 3 centimeters. And the reason why you don't want to make it bigger than that is because you want to put this through one of your stitches, like, let's see if I can get it out, like so. Oh, I put it through the wrong one, that doesn't help, but anyway, you want to put it through the stitch without having to create a buttonhole. So this is supposed to be a very, very, very simple, easy beginner shawl. Okay, so let's clear all this up and let's get this started. Once you have found the start of your yarn, do a slip knot. Get your bigger hook, so that's my 8mm hook. Put your slip knot on there and you will be chaining 144. Now you can do the chain as long as you like. It's to fit around your shoulders comfortably and have an end down the side so it covers your arm. However, I would recommend that you just follow along with me, because you will have to change the amount of yarn you have and all sorts of different things. And I find that this is a free sizing and it will fit most people. So 144 stitches. So you're just chaining. Now that you have your chain of 144 stitches, make sure that you do have 144 stitches, because we need a multiple of 8. And the 8 is the pattern that we're doing next. Now, it's only one row, and this is probably the most difficult row out of everything. So just take your time and count as you go along. After that, it's plain sailing. So, yeah, change your hook to your 7mm hook, chain 1. And so the first row and this decorative row is going to be on the back of the chain. So the front of the chain are those V's, and the back of the chain are the loops you can see there on the back. We're putting our stitches in that loop. So we're going to do now double crochets, and we're going to do 8 stitches of double crochet. So yarn over, go knot that first stitch that you did there into the next stitch here. So go into the back of that loop there, grab that loop up, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn and go through the first two loops on your hook. Grab your yarn and go through the next 2 loops. Yarn over, go into that loop there, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, go through the first 2 loops on the hook, and then grab your yarn and go through the next 2 loops on the hook. And we want to do this 8 times, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you don't count that chain at the end there. Now we're going to do a count of 8 of triple crochet. So triple crochet means you go 1, 2 around the hook, and then go into the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through. Grab your yarn, go through the first 2 loops on the hook, grab your yarn, go through the next 2 loops on the hook, and then grab your yarn and go through the last 2 loops on the hook. So wrapping around twice, 1, 2 on your hook, go into the next stitch. Remember, you're going into the back of the stitch into that loop. Grab your yarn, pull it through. Grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Grab your yarn, go through the next 2 loops on the hook, and grab your yarn and go through the last 2 loops on the hook. So that's 2 stitches. So we need to go 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it can be a little difficult to see the difference between your triple crochets and your double crochets. The difference is here, but if you get lost, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my 8 doubles. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my 8 triples. And Until you get your eye in, you might have to do that each time so you've got that right, but you will get there. So our next lot are another 8 of double. So yarn over, straight into the next loop of the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the next row are our triples. So over the hook twice with your yarn into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So you can see that the pattern now is going up and down like a wave, and it will eventually look like the bottom of this one here. And can you see the wave pattern down the bottom here? And that's what we're doing. So continue doing the 8 double crochet and the 8 treble crochet or triple crochet till you get to the end. And if you counted it right, your last 8 stitches should be double crochet or whatever, which one it is. But I can't remember, sorry. Yeah, so and you should continue with that wavy pattern. And I will meet you at the end of this row when you get there. When you finish that row, it should be finishing off with 8 of your triple crochets. And then that row, when it's finished, at the end of that row, you will chain 1, turn your work, and now we're going to be doing half double crochets. So yarn over, straight into that first stitch at the top of the first stitch there, put your hook in, grab your yarn, pull it through, and this time grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, into that next stitch there, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab a yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over into the next stitch, grab a yarn, pull it through, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And you will be putting a half double crochet in the top of every stitch. And when you have done that, I will meet you back here and show you what you do next. At the end of your first row of half double crochet, you'll come to that last stitch, which it was in your chain. So just do your last stitch there and chain 1, turn your work, and continue your half double crochets all the way along. And obviously make sure that you have your 144 stitches that you started out with. And all you are doing is half double crocheting until you have come to the end of all 5 balls. So this is all you're doing now, half double crochet until all 5 balls are used up. When you have got to that point, come back and I'll show you what to do next. Now that we have finished our 5 balls, and it ended up being about 50 rows of half double crochet and the 1 row of the decorative border, and the colors are exquisite and the softness, it's so beautiful. Hopefully you have some yarn left, because that is what we're going to sew the buttons on with. And all you need to do now is just finish off, snip off that excess yarn, and let's work out where we're going to place the buttons. The way I place my buttons and mark it out is I go 10 stitches in, and on the 11th stitch place a stitch marker. Then next stitch is my first count of my next lot of stitches, and that is now going to be 11 stitches, and I place my stitch marker on the 12th stitch. The next stitch in is my first stitch of the next lot, and then I count 11 and then place my stitch marker on the 12th. You can join it together if you like, but we're going to sew our buttons. Now you can sew your buttons on either panel, it doesn't matter. You just got to remember that the buttons are going to button through your actual work. There's no buttonholes. We've made this really simple and we haven't created any buttonholes. So you need to make sure that the buttons that you use are going to fit through there. And I wouldn't put them right on the first row, go the second or the third row down. I place my buttons on the inside so that when it comes through like so. Now what buttons am I going to use? I had a choice of 2 and I quite like both, but I think I'm going to keep it plain and simple because this is so beautiful. Let's use these ones. So you're focusing more on the gorgeous fabric rather than the buttons, and I'll use them for another project somewhere down the line. These ones I got from Spotlight, and these ones were a free gift when I bought a whole heap of stuff from Hobbii. You get points, and this is what I used for my points. Just make sure that your buttons are going to fit through the hole. If they're not going to fit through your stitches, find something smaller or something bigger. You don't want it too loose. You don't want it to fall apart when you're wearing it. So you want it just right. Okay, so let's sew these buttons on. Now I am only going to use 3 buttons. 1, 2, 3, like so. I think that looks great. And you just need to obviously check that it's going to go through. Whoop, through fine. And what I do is I line it up underneath like so, and then I sew them on. So get some of your leftover yarn, just get a stretch of yarn, get your yarn needle. Now you've got to also make sure that your yarn needle is going to go through your buttonhole. Oh, the amount of times I've been caught out. And go to your first one. You'll see where I've marked. You can even count in if you want on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11th stitch is where I'm going down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th stitch. Now I am going to go down 2 rows to about there. So I put my needle in, I get my button, I go through the other way, and I make sure that I'm sewing into a stitch, not into the hole, because it'll just come undone otherwise. And then I tie on. Now you can double loop and then go through the loop of your double, but what I find with that is I can't get it through the holes of the button because it's too much yarn. So I do it singularly and then just tie it on, and I make sure my tying goes opposite ways. And then just sew your button on, and as many times as you can get the yarn through the buttonhole. Oh, 4 times. There we go. And then I just tie again. Obviously, you can put the button on any way you like, whatever works for you. Snip that off. First one is done, and try and get it as close as possible so people can't see it. Check your handiwork. So obviously 1, 2, 3 down here. Take your stitch marker out, and there is your first one done. I will do the other 2, and then I will show you the finished product. I think that goes really well. And here we are. Buttons are on. I think the buttons go beautifully. This is a fun, easy, beautiful shawl to make. Soft, squidgy, and just flows beautifully. I love it, and I love the different colors that you can make this in, and they all turn out differently, as in the color wave. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me in this tutorial. If you do make this, I would love to see a photo. So drop a line on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to see what you have made of yours. You can use any other yarn you like for this. Yeah, just play with it. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope to see you back here at the studio sometime soon at one of my other many tutorials. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you back here next time at the studio. Bye everyone!